Today I fucked up by calling the bride ugly and the groom fat in front of their entire family. This happened 6 years ago when I was a hotshot wedding videographer. I retired afterwards. My selling point was simple. I will shoot your wedding and give you a highlight reel the very next day, no questions asked. People loved it, they wanted me, they couldn't wait. My career's last wedding was no different at the beginning. I arrived at the scene, asked who the important people were and shot some epic footage and went home. But I was hiding a harmless secret. You see, my work ethic of working 20 hours straight came with a caveat. I got bored too often, but that day, I found a solution. If you have ever edited videos before, you know the most boring part of it is watching, organizing and naming hundreds of clips. So, just for self-amusement, I did something. Instead of naming the clips how you'd usually name them, I started naming them funny. Mind you, these are raw footages that will never be seen by anyone else other than me. The final video was aptly named and sent to the bride, my client, the very next day. She called me and she loved it. She thanked me for my service and requested me if I could also send her all the raw clips I had taken. You see, it was the weekend and her entire family was going to visit her, where they planned to watch all the videos and start her new life with a bang. Although, in 99% of other cases, I would have been smart enough to send her the original clips, this time around, I had an important statistics exam the next day and my brain was fried. I unknowingly copied my funny name clips and gave them to her. It is the next day, I'm at my university, about to enter my classroom, ready to give my statistics exam and my phone rings. The bride is calling, I rejoice, surely she's calling to ask for my bank details, I'll be a little richer today. Hello. You are the most horrible person I've ever seen, you humiliated me in front of my entire family. I will file a police report against you. You won't get away with this, cuts the call. I was confused. I really didn't know why she'd act that way. Was she trying to rip me off by throwing up this act? I was not going to let her get away with this. I called my classmate, the girl who hooked me up with the client. The bride was her aunt, surely my classmate would have known what's happening. Hey, miss, just called me and said some weird stuff, do you know what's happening? Are you kidding me? What the hell were those names? Are you out of your mind? Is this a prank? She's swearing at me so much, you are unreal, why did you do that? What names? Wait, video clip names? I don't know if you're joking at this point, but I'm in a lot of trouble because of you. You're really weird, man, cuts the call. The freaking names, the names, no way, I sent them the funny names? ? My heart sank. My exam was in 5 minutes. I couldn't take it. I collected myself, gave the exam, I barely passed it, and went home to see what I had done. At this point, even I don't know how bad it is. I don't remember any of the funny names. I did those in the moment, laugh a little and move on. I opened my computer and went into the folder. My hands are shaking, my heart pounding. These were some of the names. Ugly bride trying to pose, annoying loud bride friends, old grandma's last wedding, perv brother eyeing girls, fat ass groom standing, dumb as fuck kids running, short bald dad eating. These were the first couple out of around 60 final clips. I deleted the whole folder without proceeding further, I couldn't take it. Before you tell me how horrible I am, to my defense, I was a dumb unfunny kid. To come up with creative insults you have to be smart, I wasn't. So I relied on shock humor, enough to get me through the boring phase of naming. I didn't think much of it, it wasn't meant to be seen by anyone. I called my friend the other day, calmed her down, apologized for it. Once she was cool, she told me the following. We were all gathered at the bride's house, it was at least a 30-person gathering. We were supposed to all sit in the hall and watch all the clips one by one. The first clip was the highlights that you made which everyone enjoyed. She plugged in the flash drive you gave to her and to everyone's horror. All the funny names were in front of everyone. The bride tried to close the folder immediately but her dad was furious and proceeded angrily reading everything out loud. Until the bride started crying and left the room. It was something. The groom stayed still and said nothing, that's horrible, I didn't mean it, it wasn't supposed to be in front of anyone else. I'm so sorry, that's okay, I mean, I get it. Everything is calm now, but I don't think you'll get your money. I mean you can try but the bride's really pissed. The grandma laughed at her clip name actually. I never contacted the bride again. I heard she was teaching in a university next to mine. I never went near that place. Whenever I think of this, I cringe really hard and I feel like sinking and laughing at the same time. I'm still sometimes talk to my classmate. She recently got married and suffice to say, she didn't ask me to shoot it. Too long did not read. Today I fucked up by giving nasty names to wedding video clips and accidentally sent them to the bride 2 days after the wedding, and #X200B. Old grandma's last wedding, skull. As much as it's weird that they went through the clips so soon. Naming the clips insulting things is really unprofessional, and not very smart. NGL I wouldn't hire you if I knew you'd done that. So did you just stop trying to do wedding photography or did your reputation precede you? Skull. Wow. You're mean. Moments like this are exactly when you mature. It isn't always gradual. I imagine this lesson has stayed with you and shaped some of your behavior and humor. Also, the story is super funny. If it happened to me, as the groom, I'd get over it in a few weeks. Today I fucked up by forgetting my complexion. This is not meant to be a racially motivated post. Just something highly embarrassing that happened to me just now. I'm a white Hispanic. White as hell. Straight light-colored hair, white-ass complexion, but I'm Hispanic. Like my parents are from the island Hispanic. It's my neighbor's birthday today. She's having a party. Being neighborly and loving, she invited us to join the party and at first it's a little awkward. But eventually everyone is warming up to me. I'm drinking a few shots, had a little smoke, it was fun. It's important to note that she and her family are black. This is important to the story. My husband learns that she smokes cigars, and while I was inside for a moment to go potty, he mentions this to me. He also had to go potty. We rather just go to our place since we're right next door. So me wanting to get right back into the party, I offered to take one of our Cuban cigars to her. Here's where I effed up. I walked into the party, said my husband mentioned giving her a present, and then said the words, "straight from my heritage," while presenting her with the cigar. Everyone halted. Of course, they thought I was white. In a black party. Mentioning heritage. This was the most mortifying moment of my life to this point. I had to backpedal ridiculously fast. Explain that I'm Spanish. I literally wanted to die. So yeah, I fucked up because I forgot I was technically seen as white. Too long did not read. I drink lay mentioned heritage at a black event forgetting that I appear to be white, even though I'm Hispanic. Edit. This post got a lot more traction than I ever intended. I'm hungover now, but in a clearer frame of mind. I just wanted to clear up a few things because a lot of people started to sound very similar across the comments. 1. While I felt ridiculously awkward, this was never a racially charged event. I wasn't scared I had offended them, due to tobacco plantations and the slave labor used in early settlements or any of that. I hadn't made that connection, nor do I think they did either. 2. The events that I've laid out here were told in the best way that I could retell them, based both on my drunk perception and following immediately after it had happened. There may be some slight exaggeration, maybe the room didn't fall completely silent. But I tried to set the stage as best as I could, and the room's energy definitely shifted. Whether it was a curious moment, a moment of WTF, or straight-up offense, I couldn't tell you. There was easily over 15 people there, all with their own ideas, thoughts, and I am terrible at reading the room. 3. Going potty. So many people attacked me for this one. It's sufficiently clear by my post that I clearly haven't been out in society or with large groups of people for quite some time now, considering the entire post is about a foot-in-mouth moment. No. I don't deal with adults on a day-to-day basis other than my husband. I have children who take up 2/3 of my day asking to go potty, saying they made a potty, boom, wee, pee-pee, etc. This wasn't a huge factor in the story other than it being the private place where I went to cool off my face after being majorly embarrassed. 4. My mistake was assuming everyone knew that I was Cuban and Spanish-speaking. Of course, as a sober individual, I realize how would they? I've only just met almost all of them that same night, but while drunk and feeling a little too at home, this was what happened. 5. I don't think most will even remember what I said, and anyone who does, well, it'll be a funny-ass moment of the weird thing the neighbor said cause she was drunk, stoned. 6. Someone expressed concern for my mental health and Reddit sent me a crisis hotline link. While I appreciate the concern, and there's never anything wrong with extending the resource to anyone you think might need it, I just want to take this opportunity to let that individual know that I am okay. Thank you. This whole post is weird as hell, but I'm still stuck on a grown-ass person using the phrase, "go potty." You fucked up because you didn't announce your heritage to your neighbors? What the fuck is going on in this country? Are you Cuban or Spanish? If you're Cuban, cigars are your heritage. What does your skin color have to do with it, and why did you think it was a weird thing to say around black people? 1. There is no island called Hispanic. Do you mean Hispaniola? 2. Are you Spanish or Cuban? 3. Judging from this whole post, you're whiter than a ginger from Edinburgh, even if your family is from Havana.